ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the 2021 season of motor racing here at Queensland Raceway. And coming out onto the track for the first time in season 21, we have qualifying for the Queensland Production Car Championship, with thanks to the very special people at motorsportsales.com.au. Also Be Tuned, also Corona Cabinets, and also Ultimate Diesel Tuning. 24 cars heading out for the Queensland Production Car Championship opening round, and we don't have our reigning champion Adam Talbot in his Mazda 6 here this weekend. It's a class-based point system, which is how a relatively underpowered car like a Mazda 6 can claim the overall championship. We do have a number of top-level competitors that are running here this weekend, that are going to be running in the Australian Production Car Championship later in the year when that gets started. Looking down towards turn 6 at the moment, and just flashing by on the screen just there, the dark-coloured car. One of the Berwick Linton entered BMWs that are racing here this weekend. Now we're looking across now at turn 5, and there we have Jerry Murphy. No, sorry, that's not Jerry Murphy, that's Gary Beggs, the other of the big V8 Commodores, late model V8 Commodores that are running here this weekend. Just noticing one of the Mazda 3 turbos weaving on the front straight, getting some, that's Tom Needham actually. It's just warming up the tyres. Looking across at turn 5, we see there's the Paul Kiefer's Volkswagen Scirocco, one of our C-Class cars. Large number of classes split across the Queensland Production Car Championship. Class X are our top level cars, and they're the two latest BMW M3s that are being run here this weekend by Berwick Linton, and also by Stephen Ellery, returning to motor racing after many years off. And the other car in the X class is the BMW M4, the B-Tune car of Carl Bagg. From there we go down to classes A1 and A2. Classes B1 and B2, although there's no B2 entries here this weekend. Class C, D, and then E, roughly, although not completely based on engine capacity. Group of 3 cars coming out of turn 3 here at Queensland Raceway, just heading down towards turns 4 and 5. There's one of the Volkswagen Scirocco, well in fact 2 Volkswagen Sciroccos running in close company. Now one of the pair of Mitsubishi Evos just coming out of turn 3 just there, John Harris. And the all-white car was the red, white and blue car is the car of, that's the Symes entry. Being chased by a pair of BMWs at the time, a pair of BMW 130i's of the Vicini family, Carly and Paul. Carly the pink one, Paul the white and green one. Looking across at the front straight, there's those BMWs, one of the Linton entry cars, number 23 car, that's Berwick Linton's car. One of the cars we can expect to fight out for pole position. Across at turn 1, this is the start of the lap. There's John Harris being pursued by Symes, the 2 Evo 10 Mitsubishis. looking across at turn 5, and there's the Lacey entered Volkswagen Scirocco, car that's shared by Robin and Peter Lacey over the course of the season. Husband and wife combination. A couple of these very smart Volkswagen Scirocco's that run a 2-litre turbocharged engine. They run in Class C. Now that roar you're probably picking up in the background there. Well, we're looking across now at Paul Baccini's BMW 130i. It's running in Class C against the Sciroccos actually. And there's Paul leading his daughter Carly in the pink and black similar BMW 130i. Now there's, briefly on screen there was Robert Gourley in the Mitsubishi Evo 10. Now that blue car over there that just travelled across the screen, the Mazda 3 MPS of Jake Camilleri of Grand Prix Mazda fame. He's been running the Australian Production Car Championship for many, many years. On screen there, those two grey cars running down the straight. It's Robert Gourley's Ultimate Diesel Tuning Mitsubishi Evo in close company there with Gary Beggs' Holden Commodore V8. As we go back to look at Peter Lacey, I think it's Peter who's driving today in the blue Scirocco, being pursued right at the moment by the Boss Security Mercedes-Benz C63 V8, the big bad Benz of James So just to update on lap times, Beric Linton is currently our fastest driver on track, a 1:18.4825 in the number 23. Linton Bodyworks BMW M3. Second fastest is his teammate in almost exactly the same car, Stephen Ellery. Steve Ellery, of course, very experienced motor racer. Former V8 supercar racer in the Super Cheap Auto Racing series of Ford Falcons. These days perhaps better known as father of emerging racers Dalton and Tristan Ellery, who are racing that car that Stephen's racing today last year. So Steve Ellery has plainly lost nothing. He's second fastest, just half a second behind Beric Linton. Carl Begg is third fastest, so our three X-Class cars are right up the front of the field. Carl Begg running a BMW Turbo like the two M3s of Linton and Ellery, but his is a different car completely, and that's a BMW M4. Wearing the white, bronze and black colours of B-Tune. Fourth fastest is John Harris in the all-white Mitsubishi Evo 10. An older car, but still potent. And then we've got Greg Symes there, fifth fastest in another one of the Mitsubishi Evo 10s. Gary Beggs is doing fabulously well in the Holden Commodore V8 to be sixth fastest. Then we've got Robert Gourley in the Ultimate Diesel Tuning Mitsubishi Evo 10. Jake Camilleri in the Mazda 3 Turbo is currently eighth fastest. Then we've got Andrew Wilton, the first of our Toyota 86s in the field, car 322, watch out for Wilton. And then we have Anthony Levitt in the number 16, he is 10th fastest at the moment. Fabulous field, 24 cars as mentioned. After Levitt is we have Bensley, then Dave Homer, Mitch Madron, James Hay, Paul Baccini, James Spaulding, Paul Kiefer, Murray Dowsett, Tom Needham and Carly Baccini rounding out the top 20 in the pink and black BMW 130i. Looking across at Gary Beggs at the moment, currently sixth fastest and the fastest of the V8s in the field. V8 numbers are actually slightly down at the moment in the Queensland production cars for season 2021. Normally there'd be a couple of BMW M3 V8s. the previous model to the current model, which is a 3-litre turbo, as exemplified out there on the circuit by Beric Linton and Stephen Ellery. So Harris is leading Class A1. That's Robert Gourley we're looking across at the moment, the Ultimate Diesel Tuning Evo 10, one of several Mitsubishi Evos that are running here this weekend. There are 3 Evo 10s. I thought I saw a Mitsubishi Evo 8 in the entry list, but that may not have turned out. Wade Scott normally runs a Mitsubishi Evo 8, but I do notice that Wade isn't here today. I think Wade Scott in the Evo 8 is getting ready for the Bathurst 6 Hour. That's not that far away, so several teams are just taking an easy start to the season with that big endurance event only around a month away at Mount Panorama. Now here's Carl Begg in the B-tuned number 40 X-Class BMW M4. He's currently 3rd fastest on a 1:19.99, so he's under the 82nd bracket for Queensland Raceway, so he's on the pace. Linton and Ellery, though, have moved the goalposts. Linton's now done a 18.4 against Ellery's 18.5. So now, Carl Begg's gone faster on 19.6. He's still a second behind the 2 M3 turbos in the M4. Harris is best of the rest in the Mitsubishi, and he's on a 1:21.3. Then Symes on a 1:21.4. So 2 of the Mitsubishi Evos are very tightly bunched there in 4th place. Gary Beggs is right with them in the big Commodore V8 on a 21.5. Then we go back to a 22.8 to Gourley. So Gourley's in 7th position is around 1.3 seconds behind that battle for 5th place. Now looking a bit further down the field, leading Class C entry at the moment is Jake Camilleri, and that's exactly where I would expect him to be in the Mazda 3 MPS. Very experienced racer, very well sorted car. A couple of cars have been into the pits and are heading back out onto the race circuit. There's one of the Toyota 86s, and it's being pursued by the raucous cacophony of noise that is the Boss Security Mercedes-Benz C63. Anthony Levitt at the wheel of the Mercedes this weekend. Now, car 95 is also trundling out of the pits, and that's the Toyota 86 of Mitch Mandron. Young Formula Ford hotshot who moved into production cars last year and made quite an impact in a relatively modest Toyota 86. It's a Toyota 86 is, of course, a wonderful, naturally balanced Japanese sports car with a Subaru Boxer engine at the heart of it, 2-litre naturally aspirated, not a great deal of horsepower compared to faster cars ahead of them, but it's a very well balanced car, very nicely sorted car, and Madron's a very quick young driver. Not the quick, and the Toyota 86s are fighting out Class D. Wilton, the fastest of the 86s at the moment, also the Class D leader. Interrupting the Class D pack is actually David Homer in the Ford Fiesta. And David is currently 12th fastest, just ahead of Mitch Madron. They're actually fairly close together, only 0.4 of a second between them in 12th position. As the black and white no, not the BMW, that's the Toyota 86 actually, car number 11 of Murray Dowsett, who's just picked up 2 positions with a 27.5, so he's jumped past Spalding in the HSV GDS Commodore and Paul Kiefer's Volkswagen Scirocco. So great lap there from Murray Dowsett to jump from 18th to 16th. So there's plenty of movement going on in this qualifying session. Now Stephen Ellery is continuing to close the gap to Beric Linton. The gap between them is now 0.08 of a second. It's less than 1/10 of a second between the two BMW M3 turbos. Carl Begg is a whole second behind in the BMW M4 turbo, so the M3's holding sway just at the moment. Harris still fourth in the Mitsubishi, ahead of Symes. That noise that the cameras and the mics would have picked up just then is the big Mercedes of Levitt. 8th fastest, and that's a jump from Levitt, so he's jumped up to 8th fastest in the Mercedes. Great move. Camilleri's back in the pits in the Mazda turbo, and he's just lost that 8th position to the Mercedes. Although, to be fair, Camilleri isn't really racing against the Mercedes. The Mercedes is an A1 class car, whereas Camilleri is a C class car. Once again, thanks, of course, to motorsportsales.com.au, Be Tuned, Corona Cabinets, and Ultimate Diesel Tuning for your support of the Queensland Production Car Championship. Now, Carl Begg has been into the pits in the BMW, the Be Tuned BMW. They're heading back out again. They're looking across at the Lacey Volkswagen Scirocco. Now, the Lacey's are a little bit further down in the field. You know what? I've been calling that car Lacey's all morning, but no, of course, it's James Hay actually running in the dark blue Volkswagen Scirocco. James, we're more used to seeing in Mazdas, but he's come across from production sports cars into production touring cars. He was co-driving last year and shared his Volkswagen Scirocco with Paul Ansell from production sports cars in the endurance races in last year's championship. So my apologies, James Hay, down there running around. He's currently 14th fastest in the dark blue Scirocco. Beric Linton's pulled into the pits. He's done with qualifying. He's headed straight out the back. And Steve Ellery is going with him. So there goes currently the two fastest cars in the session. Now, does Carl Begg have anything to try and take pole position away? As we see there, that's the 31 there, is the Chalgrave contracting car of Stephen Ellery, who's currently second fastest by a mere 0.08 of a second behind his teammate Beric Linton in those two BMW M3 turbos. Carl Begg's just crossed the line to complete another lap, and that's a warm-up lap for him. We'll expect him on a flying lap this time around. Now heading out of turn 6 just at the moment, coming towards us is in fact we've got cars peeling off into pit lane now, so it's we are pretty much at the end of the session. There's 40 seconds left, so actually this will be the last laps for pretty much everybody who's out on the circuit right now. There's no one immediately in danger of coming across the line, so everyone, there's the number 47 Toyota 86. And that's Murray Riley, new competitor of the class, so he'll get one more lap in, but everyone else now is on their last laps of this qualifying session. We just saw Carly Bacchini in the pink and black BMW. Now we're looking across here to, this is Carl Begg, the B-tuned BMW M4. This is the car to watch out for. Madron's just crossed the line, improves, he's 11th fastest. There goes Carly Bacchini, doesn't improve, she stays 20th. But we're watching out for Carl Begg, who's currently 3rd fastest. If he can climb out of the front row. There he goes. And he improves, but stays 3rd fastest. A 1:19.1 for Carl Begg in the B-tuned BMW M4. So, of the cars left on track, I just see that look like Steve McHugh's Suzuki Swift Sport that was on screen just there, but I think he's peeling off to the pits. I think that's it. I think that's it for qualifying. Then qualifying's done. We might see a lap from the The 47 car of Murray Riley is still on a flying lap, it looks like. So Riley might come around to take the to cross the stripe once more. There's Pacini, she's on an in lap. So here comes Riley, he'll be the last car to set a lap time. And no improvement, he stays 21st. So then, Beric Linton is our pole sitter with a 118.48 lap time compared to Steve Ellery on a 118.57. Then we go to Carl Begg in the BMW M4 on a 119.20. I don't think that lap's going to be counted. John Harris, fourth fastest on a 121.3. Then we got Greg Symes on a 121.49. Gary Beggs in the Commodore, a 121.58, followed by Levitt in the Mercedes, Gooley in the Mitsubishi, Camilleri in the Mazda Turbo, Wilton in the first of the Toyota 86s, with Mitch Madron close behind in a similar car, Bensley in the BMW, Homer in the Ford Fiesta. Then we've got Hay, the first of the Volkswagen Scirocco's, Dowsett's Toyota 86, Paul Baccini in the BMW 130, Spalding in the HSV GDS, then Kiefer in Volkswagen Scirocco, Carly Baccini, BMW 130i, Murray Riley in the Toyota 86, Damien Drew in the BMW 320i, Adam Talbot is out there. I missed him with everything that's going on in the Mazda 6, the reigning champ. He's going to start 23rd on the grid, followed by Steve McHugh in the Suzuki Swift, and last car in the field is Anthony Levitt, who's down in now number 76 is the Renault Clio running out of that race team. They've also Levitt. Actually, you know, Levitt's listed in two cars, so we've got. Yeah, I did hear that Levitt was leasing the Renault Clio out this weekend, and he's that's the last car on the grid. So that was the qualifying session for round one of the Queensland Production Car Championship, brought to you by the very good people at motorsportsales.com.au. Also Be Tuned, also Corona Cabinets, and Ultimate Diesel Tuning. Now we're going to go straight on from here, because next we have the EFS 4x4 Accessories XL Cup. One of the most, well, the most exciting racing category here at Queensland Raceway. Also at our sister circuit, Lakeside Park. And this is the original XL Motor Racing Series for 1500 cc's, 1.5 litres of Korean cars. These 1990s X3 Series Hyundai XLs. 1.5 litre as mentioned, 4-cylinder engines. It's a front-wheel drive car, and everyone has more or less the same car. Some cars are, you know, better than others. Some drivers are better than others. But the basics are all the same. Everyone's on the same rubber Dunlop control tyre. Also big shout outs to Castrol supporting the EFS 4x4 Accessories XL Cup. Huge field of cars here this weekend, my goodness me, huge. 45 cars was the last count that I saw for the XL Cup. Goodness me. And qualifying begins. This enormous pack of cars. Everywhere we look, there's another car. And they're still trickling out on the circuit. We're looking across the track at the moment. I can see there's Cameron Bartholomew's car. He'll be one of the front runners here this weekend. It's a huge pack of cars. series celebrated its 10th championship last year since its founding. When the XL Cup started, there were the first season of races, the first couple of races, there were only 4 or 5 cars, and they would share the grids with either Geminis or with HQ Racing, but the series has built and built and built. By the end of the first year, they were starting to get over 10 cars. By the second year, we were starting to get into the 20s. By the end of the third year, we were into the 30s. And this class has spread across the country. And there are now XL Racing Series in every state in the nation. So, currently, looking down at the list, we've got Sam Taylor as our... actually, no, that's not a... I don't think an XL can complete a lap in 26.7 seconds, so I think we'll say that that's a timing error. But Darren Whittington is currently our fastest driver. Darren running out of the Brett Parrish Racing organisation. They've trimmed down... BPRO have built 2 brand new cars for the 2021 season, and it's been quite a battle for Parrish, Whittington and the team to get both cars finished in time for this opening round. Brett looked a little bit weary, but fitness junkie that Darren Whittington is, he was looking sprightly. I reckon that Parrish, though, he'll be on the money the moment the helmet comes down. So right at the moment, Darren Whittington is our fastest car. Now, second fastest is we've got an interloper into the field, car number 36 out there. Mitch Wooler has come across from Queensland Touring Cars, and he's instantly showed himself to be a rapid racer. And there we go. Lap times are plunging across the field now. Hughes has jumped up into third fastest. Roberts is fourth fastest, but we've got we have red lights on. We've gone clamp down. And I'm just trying to pick up right at the moment where that is. I think the clamp down is at the northern end of the circuit, turn 3 or 6. I can't see anything at the southern end. So just struggling right at the moment to pinpoint where the drama is. We've got a car buried in the sand trap on the end of turn 1, and it's an all-white car, which actually doesn't narrow it down. There's quite a few of them. Right at the moment, Whittington is our fastest driver, 132.7. Mitch Wooler, a 132.7. There's 0.07 of a second between them. Hughes is third fastest, ahead of Roberts. Then Ryan Casher, fifth fastest. Josh Richards, sixth fastest. He was third a second or so ago. Okay, it's car number 32 that's beached over in the sand trap there on the exit of turn 1, very deep. So he's gone in too deep under brakes, I would suggest, at turn 1, and that's as far as the car has gotten. Car 32 is Rhoda, new entry, one of our new competitors to the field. It's always... There's a bunch of competitors having their first race meetings here with the EFS XL Cup. Just looking through the field, Martin, McLaren, Mahoney, Rhoda, Dremel. These are all new or relatively new competitors. Oh, I see it looks like Stephen Scales has come across from Trans Am Racing to join us here in the XL Cup bus. Another new competitor, Trappert. H. Bates. That wouldn't be Harry Bates by any chance, would it? That would be very impressive if it was. I don't think it is. A number of new competitors joining us for season 2021. Barry Gomersall, I see, is in the entry list here as well, and Barry's currently ninth. Not Barry, but that's Gomersall the younger, who's son of Jason Gomersall, who we see regularly in such series as, well, Jason's raced in the Super 2 V8 series, although more often in Super 3s for older supercars, but also he's been a regular in Touring Car Masters, racing a Holden Tirana. And the young fellow is making his way now in XL Cup. One of the XL Cup cars has been into the pits, the number 95 car. And that's Cam Bartholomew. Actually, completely new look for Cam Bartholomew for season 2021, a dark coloured car. I said I saw Cam out on there. I was looking for his brightly coloured white and orange and blue, but that's a different competitor now. It's not Bartholomew at all. So I've got my driver ID to pick up. First round of the year. For the EFS 4x4 Accessories XL Cup, with support from the fabulous people at Track Attack Australia, organising body behind the XL Cup. There was Red Parish was just coming out of pit lane. There's a huge gaggle of cars coming down the straight, just looking to see where the pace is. Now everyone's coming back up to pace again after that clamp down. Now for those of you who don't know, Carlos Spinner over at turn 1. Black and yellow cars gone around. Right in the middle of our shot here, pointing towards turn 1. Is that Natoli? I think that might be Dan Natoli. No, actually it's not. It's I'll pick that car up momentarily, but you know, it's recovered all by himself, saving us from a clamp down. Now, I'm starting to explain, clamp downs here at Queensland Raceway is the closest analogy to a clamp down is a virtual safety car, as is used in Formula One. However, here at everyone holds station. We don't back up the queue like a safety car does. Everyone slows down. 80 kilometres an hour is the advised speed, if memory serves, while we clear out the danger that occurred out on the circuit. That's when we use the clamp down for when there is an incident that can be cleaned up relatively quickly. Saves time and makes sure that everyone gets the most amount of laps as possible. Now Whittington is still our fastest, and he's just gone faster again, a 132.27. Great lap there from Darren Whittington, the number 53 car. Now Callan Roberts has jumped up into second fastest in the number 19 car, 32.48, so he's gone fast as well. Ryan Casher, third fastest, a 132.5. Lap times are tumbling. Mitch Muller is fourth. We've got two cars side by side under brakes, down into turn 4. Bright yellow car, that's one of our new competitors for season 2021. At least I think it's one of our new competitors. That's not. That is actually the new look B-Pro car of Darren Whittington, our current pole sitter. So I think he would have been held up on that lap. So we won't see him go faster this time around, unless he's got something really special in this lap. Looking, there's Josh Richards there, the white car with the black underbody. Richards, one of our fast younger drivers in the series. He's currently 7th fastest. Bunch of cars on the move. Oh, here we go, coming out of turn 6 now. Looking at lap times. Richards has jumped up the order. He's now 5th fastest. He's jumped past Parrish, Wooler and Simpson. So Whittington as our pole sitter. 32.0. Whittington did go faster that lap. 32.3 for Roberts, 32.5 for Kasha. Everyone's dropping lap times. Richards 4th fastest with a 32.6. Parrish 32.7. Then Mitch Wooler 32.7. Simpson a 32.8. Hughes on a 32.8 as well. Mick McLeod has come from the clouds to be 9th fastest. Whoa, Mashota jumps up the order to 8th position there. The number 69 car, Mashota, fabulous lap time to be 7th fastest. So times are tumbling across the board here. McLeod has been pushed back to 10th fastest after Mashota's hot lap there. Just outside the top 10, we've got Broad, followed by Painter, Gomersall, Beggs, Natoli, Harron, Willis, Stock, Hamilton, and then Cam Bartholomew, uncharacteristically down in 20th position. Former lap record holder here at Queensland Raceway in XL Cup. Currently buried down 20th on the grid with work to do. Cash has gone faster again, down to a 32.5. Stays 3rd, however. Doesn't improve position. Broad has just done a better lap. Chris Broad jumping into the top 10, a 33.3. Getting past McLeod. Natoli's jumped 4 positions with a 33.7 to be 13th. Taylor was just on camera there, that yellow and white car. Sam Taylor was fast early in the session, but he seems to have lost some pace and is down the order at the moment. Checkered flag is out for the end of the session, so are there any more fast laps coming out of anybody? Whittington currently the best at 32.0 compared to Roberts on a 32.3. Taylor crosses the line but doesn't improve. King is just coming across the line, but he's down the order. Now here comes Roberts, followed by Money and Simpson. Roberts did not improve, but he was in 2nd position anyway. Whittington crosses the line and his pole position is safe. McLeod doesn't improve. Richards doesn't improve. Still got cars in this huge field coming across the line. Darren Whittington has secured pole position from Callan Roberts there. A 132.0, sorry, that's Connor Roberts, I should say, not Callum. 32.3. Then we've got Kasha on a 32.5 with Richards joining him on the 2nd row of the grids in the Scots Rods car. No, Natoli has come from the clouds. Dan Natoli's jumped up 12 positions to the front row of the grid with a 132.15. My God, that is the fastest lap Dan Natoli has ever done here at Queensland Raceway. That's fantastic. Very experienced racer, Natoli. So, pole position then to Darren Whittington. Dan Natoli will start from position number 2. Then we've got Connor Roberts starting from position 3 with Ryan Casher alongside then Josh Richards and Brett Parrish on the 3rd row of the grid. Mitch Wooler and Trapner Shota on the 4th row of the grid. 5th row of the grid is Simpson and Hughes. Then we go to Broad, McLeod, Gomersall, Painter, Martin Smith, Beggs, Richard Beggs there, Reiner, sorry, not Richard, Reiner Sullivan 17th, Jason Harron is 18th, then we go to Bates, Smith, It's Gordon Smith down there in 20th, head of stock, then Corey Willis, Holland, Hamilton, Bartholomew 25th, Frank Mamarella, former race winner in the category, is 26th. So that's a potent growth 13 of the grid. Then we've got the Dremel, Wooler, there's 2 Woolers in the field, so that's going to confuse me. Trappett, Bryce, Sharma, McLaren, Pappas, then Sam Taylor's down in 34th. Rhoda, Scales, Van Roon, King, Martin, Moni rounds out the top 40. And then we go to Wilkins and Taylor and Graham Taylor, rounding out the 42 cars that have qualified for this field. My goodness me, Dan Natoli. That's fantastic. Well, that's the EFS 4x4 Accessories XL Cup qualifying for the first round of season 2021. Whoa. Now, does that qualifying session excite me? Ooh, race 1 is going to be fantastic.